Welcome back, friends. You are watching Tactical Enlightenment, featuring our 300 series. All of these episodes that feature our small but powerful force of war veterans face off against foes in a wide variety of scenarios and in ever increasingly more difficult situations. Alright, friends, welcome back again to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. This continues our Bannerlord 300 challenge. You can see the unique situation we have here. I'm outside a castle that's almost successfully sieged down here by this large Battanian force, and I think we're going to enter and make a defense from inside. You can see I've got a lot of injured companions. I'm going to let them grind down a little bit more on the garrison here, reduce the number a little bit more, but that's mostly to heal my army, because you can see we don't have 300 men. You know, I'm not like sitting in an inn until everybody's healthy in this series. We're kind of roaming the map looking for trouble. In this case, you know, I can recruit some prisoners, but I still have 235 men, and a lot of my elite companions are injured. But this strange game mechanic, it allows us to just sneak into the castle, even though, of course, they have the thing almost sieged all the way down. I guess they're just going to let us sneak in the back door here, right? 220 guys just roar in the back door here, and now we can defend the castle from inside, right? So I didn't say it wasn't quirky. It's definitely a strange quirk of the game. But for our purposes here, it's going to function very much like we're inside the castle all along, and we're just going to be able to defend it from that situation. I switched out my axe there. We're going to launch into battle here, though. Normal player damage, of course, for this whole 300 series. I switched out an axe just to have a faster axe. I dissed my pole arm. I don't need a pole arm in a keep defense. It just it bangs into things. It hits other people. So we've switched to our axe and more javelins here. So I've got the 5th and the 8th Corps that I'm gonna focus on in the center here, this little courtyard. I've never defended this castle before. It's kind of an odd layout. I've got my 8th Corps as well. I've got 39 guys in my 8th Corps that I'll be able to set up kind of back here towards the citadel, and then we can try to get some archers up. That's the 7th Corps up on one of the walls. And we're going to kind of see how this defense plays out. I've got pretty good captains in all the spots for a keep defense, but of course we're hugely outnumbered. I'm not a big fan of riding a horse in keep defense, but I'm just riding him right now just to get a layout of the land here. So it looks like we're being pounded with archers over here on the left flank. I like to early on in a defense identify weaknesses, look for areas that might be a problem. So that's good. Those guys have ladders up. The enemy has ladders up on our left flank. Ladders are very difficult for the enemy to get up. We'll be throwing some rocks down on their head here. But this basically means, at least for the initial part of battle, I'm not going to be very concerned about this left flank. In fact, we can give these guys a welcoming party. Have a rock, you fucks. Again, I apologize for my swearing. I don't even know if I want to say I apologize. I apologize if it offends anybody. This is a combat game, though. We're throwing fucking rocks at the head of people, trying to kill them. We won't be getting nasty with the swearing, but if I let the occasional F-bomb go, please forgive me. Or find another channel is probably a better thing to do. Former military, current fire service, 30 years of swearing. It's kind of hard for me to dislodge from my vocabulary at this stage. Pounding these guys with rocks here. I don't want to spend forever, though, throwing rocks on these guys' head, because I do want to check my other flank over here. So let's head to the right flank here and see how vulnerable we are. The enemy will have a ram coming up at some point. Of course, the front gate is likely where they're going to make their largest attack. I just held fire with a couple of our archer units. I don't need them wasting ammunition. You know what? It looks like they have ladders up on both sides. In other words, they don't have a siege tower. Yeah, that's exactly the case. They got ladders on both sides. So we got more rocks to chuck here. I'm just going to chuck all of these rocks till they're fully expended. You know, we have 200 and... What the fuck? I just blew up the wall with my powerful rock throw there. We're going to throw as many of these rocks as we can and basically shrink the... What the fuck? Have a rock, dude. These guys somehow are on this ladder, this stairwell already. We're going to expend all these rocks, though, as long as I'm not being attacked by the enemy. Not quite certain how that guy got through our defenses, but we're just going to unload on them with rocks. Of course, the AI is not real smart here. It just compacts their troops, so they're getting pounded. Each time it's killing like 6 guys. And like I said, we're shrinking their force here by like 100 within the first 30 seconds. Last rock, kill a few more guys. They are sneaking guys by. So somehow the enemy, I see what's going on. They've already got a position here on this ladder. Let's charge in on these fucks. See if we can't shrink their force size some more. Oh, they got forces on both sides already. Motherfuckers, have some javelins. My character is 330 javelin skill, if you don't know. Javelins in Bannerlord are pretty overpowered, especially with, you see the huge stack of javelins I have. It goes right through their shields, and it just mows down these elite troops. Basically almost one shot every single guy. I told you earlier that I loaded up 3 whole stacks of javelins. I don't bring a shield into a battle like this. That's because I can just pick them up from the ground from the dozens of corpses that I create with my extra javelins. I basically have my pick of the litter. These guys are just standing there trying to defend with their shields. Well, you guys are fucking sitting ducks. You can just pound these guys. And of course, they think they're safe. They're like holding their shield up when what it really is they're toast. So I'm kind of listening for sounds behind me. I can hear the ram pounding on the front wall. And I'm basically listening for when that ram finally gets through. I got some motherfuckers chasing me. There's some guys down there in that courtyard charging in. But I've got defenders here that'll help me out. So these guys here, I can have these guys spread. If we start getting overwhelmed on the walls here, I can have these guys open fire. That's why they're on hold fire. They're basically, I'm micromanaging them to save their ammunition and wait for a more important time for them to attack. Enemy's starting to pour through now. I've got 1 unit on fire. We're rationing our ammunition here because it's going to be such a large force attacking us. That 1 unit that's still firing is getting a decent amount of shots in here, and that's helping me sort of push back the hordes here. We got some superhero ability here. My guy can easily jump like 20 feet. In real life, of course, you'd probably blow your Achilles if you did that. Parkour with 30, 40, 50 pounds of armor, not recommended. So I'm positioning some troops there. They've already got fucks coming through the front door. That's worrying. Oh, this is a big force pushing through here. So I have the 3rd Infantry that's moved up here to help defend this. But our main defense is going to be falling back to our 6th, 8th, and to our Archer Corps. God, you got to love the death animation. It's so realistic. That guy fucking slumped over and laid against the fence post. See these guys here. We're starting to get pressured. Open fire and watch this fucking torrent of attacks coming from over my head. Look at them just getting mowed down. It's almost like playing Half-Life. I remember Half-Life like 20 years ago. You would install one of those turrets. Most of you probably never played that game, but it was a first-person shooter when I was like, 25 years old, 20 years old. And you would install these turrets that were like machine guns and just watch them mow down the enemy. That's exactly what's going on here. I've got a force in a square there, so they're in a defensive posture. They have one job, and that's basically survive. Hold your shields up. Let this 6th and 8th Archer Corps absolutely decimate the enemy while you hold defensive, right? The enemy has Battanian Fiends here, of course, Fiend Champs, and their Falksmen are really nasty, very fast-swinging infantry. I've got a nice line of Battanian Fiend Champs here. That's definitely going to help as well. And, of course, they have lots and lots of ammunition. I think the average Battanian Fiend has 60-something arrows. You can see there are javelins everywhere. It's like a fucking warehouse here of supplies. They're still attacking this square, and the enemy's just being completely decimated. Eventually, they'll overwhelm these guys, but as long as those guys hold tight there, I can waylay with my lightning fast axe here, and anything that I don't get a hold of, their javelins and archers are just absolutely pounding them. And shit, we're getting overrun here. We've got 2 points where the enemy's really starting to flood in here. They're bottled up over there against our 6th Corps. And, and of course, they're pouring in here. They remain infatuated with this infantry square, which is precisely what I was hoping for. It's a distractionary force, right? These guys are holding the line. It's only like 6 guys. Now, they've been dwindled down. It might have been 10 or 12 when we started. But they're doing an amazing job just being basically a distractionary force. The enemy's filtering in from the left. I can see guys coming through that same hallway that I went down earlier. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. We basically have 3 major points where the enemy's attacking right now, but it's kind of fits and starts, and that's partly because they're getting reinforcements. I've played long enough to know that when you get a break like this, what's happening is hundreds of men are marching your way, probably heading like right for the door. They're filtering, they're kind of trickling in over there. It's kind of slow. But I expect the main surge of guys is going to come through here. It looks like our men are holding them here. I can't understand what's going on. They're all bottled up. We'll fire some javelins in there. I don't know if this is a bug or what, but these guys are literally stuck. They can't get up this. Good boy, look at my horse. I'm going to try to kill it because it's a little bit of an exploit. But my troops were stuck. They were like jammed up on my horse, and they didn't know how to get around. That was hilarious. So we're not going to exploit the game too much. The AI is already mediocre enough. Oh, shit. There's tons of fucking forces pulling in. Time to open fire and assist these boys. Trying not to get killed here while I'm laughing at the enemy for being stuck on my horse. All right. The barrage continues here as this next wave surges in. You can see them just taking decimating fire. They finally killed the square, so the defenses are starting to break down here a little bit. Actually, I'm getting my ass kicked. Of course, if I get dropped in battles like this, the battle's basically over. The enemy AI doesn't do a good job in siege. And of course, we're fighting 2,000 men, right? We're fighting a huge force. A lot of our companions are hurt. So this is getting very dicey very quick. In fact, I'm going to withhold comments here, otherwise it'll just be gibberish while I try to defend the hordes, try to defend us from the hordes here. Motherfuckers. I wonder if they're either reforming or retreating. It's very odd behavior. Shit. There's guys coming in down here. There's enemies coming in from multiple different directions. It's very unusual. I can't tell what those guys are doing either, whether they're reforming at the gate or just routing. They were getting their ass kicked, but I'd be shocked if they were just routing altogether. The enemy's all rushing to the left of the keep like there's donuts for sale or something. Where the fuck are you guys going? They're all in shield wall, and they're all running to the left. I mean, there's a big cart full of lettuce there, but maybe they're all vegans. Oh, you know what they're doing? They're like rallying down there. You're coming for me! This stupid bitch. Some of the voice acting is good, but a lot of it is pretty dreadful. They should have got like some real warrior women, like gone to WWF, not WWF, but MMA fighters, and been like, look, we'll pay you $5,000 if you'll do some of the voice acting for our warrior women, because a lot of the women, they just sound totally pathetic. We're coming for you! No. At least the male voice acting is pretty decent. Die, you bastard! All right, they're surging in again here. It's time to open fire. I got a Britannian Fiend champ here attacking. They're kind of trickling in on this left side. This dude running in with this flag. A lot of times the enemy will rally in a keep siege like this, and they'll go to a location so that they can all attack at once. I would presume that's what's going on over there. Either that or, like I said, there's a bunch of vegetables over there, and this is the attack of the vegans. They're surging in here over on the left side, or on the right side. I'm going to charge in. These are middle tier troops. I should be able to carve a path through these guys. My health is precariously low, but I still don't feel like I have to enter command-only mode. I've got enough gusto left. I can still take a sword hit or two, that I can join my men here with my savage battle axe and keep our keep siege defense hopes alive here. I've got a really good defensive line of archers here. Everything that comes down this corridor is just getting stacked up. I mean, you can see the enemy's like 2 feet deep right here, just piling up their bodies. This guy doesn't see me. Mowed down. I like a big barn door for a shield. All shields seem to defend larger than their actual area, but these Pavis shields, it almost seems like you can't be hit. So I like to put one of these on. Like I said earlier, I'll wait till I find a nice shield. Not only can I flip this around and use it defensively, but I love having this on my back, because guys will hit you in the back, you know, when you're running or attacking somebody else, and you hear it clanking, their weapon clanking on your shield. It'll block all the damage sometimes, and a lot of the times it blocks most of the damage from people attacking you from behind. So anybody in front of me, of course, they get a lethal, really quick battle axe. I've got 330 endurance, so I can still do some juking. You see me running around the battlefield. But I've got like this friend of mine, this giant barn door behind me, defending anybody that attacks me from behind. If I ever went to prison, I definitely would want to make sure I had a nice Pavis shield, right? You take a shower, you lather up, you drop the soap, and you don't give a shit because you know you got a Pavis shield and you're basically protected. You know, if anybody shoots an arrow at you or if other things happen to you, right, you got your shield, you're good to go. Look at this guy. I thought he was alive. That guy's literally dead, leaning against the walls. If you haven't ever played this game before, it's just an amazing game in a lot of different ways. Of course, it has its faults. Nobody's perfect, not even Trump, right? But this is an amazing game in a number of different ways. The physics, the graphics, the beauty of it, and there are enough tactical options. All right, here's what's going on. There is a vegan convention over here. Let's get some archers over here. I don't know why they're stacked up like cordwood over here, but we're gonna shoot some arrows into these guys. See if we can't spur an attack. They're literally hanging out there like a bunch of zombies. This is a good example of how the game's not perfect. For whatever reason, the AI is stacked up like 30 or 50 troops or something like that over on those ladder wells. We don't have any defenders there, so unless they're stuck again behind my horse, which I don't think that's the case. This guy coming by himself. They're like trickling in like 2 at a time. Unless they're stuck on something, it's basically a bug. You know, I wish they would just charge properly and allow us to finish off this battle proper style. But this has been a good enough defense that we're going to keep this. I'm trying not to do that until late in the episode. I'm trying not to tell the viewer, how many times we've done this. And by how many times we've done this, I mean we're going to do this more than once. If I get shot in the head right now and dropped, I'm going to reload this battle and we'll fight it again. But I will try to tell the viewer how many times we've done this. So I'm bringing my 6th and 8th Corps over here because we're going to attack. Yeah, so here's my dead horse. They've got about 150 troops over here, maybe. I got my barn door, so I feel fine. Get the fuck over here, or I'll cut your rations. Hey, you guys all in cabbage. All right, sending in my 6th and 8th Corps here. We're gonna try to finish off this force. I'm gonna join them. I could jump off the side here, I guess. Cut a path through these guys. So these are very difficult challenges. Of course, it's a little easier when the AI leaves 200 of its troops kind of stacked up like cordwood here for us to cut through. But like I said, if we have to fight these battles multiple times because I get killed or our force gets defeated, I will let you guys know that that's the case. And I'm going to try not to tell you very early in the fight, hey, we were successful, we crushed the enemy our first time, here's how it happened. What I've heard is that some of the guys actually like the suspense of not knowing whether or not we're going to win or lose. Of course, lots of people on YouTube, when they show their Bannerlord videos, all they show is just massacring the enemy. And I find a lot of the channels from that perspective kind of dull. They never lose, and so you as a watcher, there's zero suspense. Now, it doesn't mean that their channels are of no value. I've got 5 or 6 different Bannerlord channels that I'm subscribed to. I learn a lot. There's a couple guys that are fucking hilarious. Of course, there's that Strat Gaming guy who's just, that guy lives, breathes, and eats and drinks Bannerlord. I've learned a ton from him. If you don't know who I'm talking about, he's like Strat Gaming Guides or something like that. He's basically the Bannerlord Bible. It just seems like a lot of people are showing campaigns and battles where they're either on level with the opponent or outnumber them severely, and they're just going around stomping everybody. Not like our campaign. Our campaign, we're at war against the whole map. It's extremely difficult. We routinely have sieges that don't go well. I have to back off. Sometimes we get besieged and we get captured. It's all part of the game. Of course, this game is very difficult, even for highly experienced players like me. You get battles where the enemy surprises you. You underestimate what they're doing, and suddenly you lose, right? Like, if you're playing this for the first time, you're going to experience losses. I mean, I can remember playing a year or two ago when I was first learning, and I would lose battle after battle after battle, right? Frustratingly, my units would get captured. You go through the whole process, right? So the point of all that is that this game is hard, and I don't want this channel to sort of represent a totally unrealistic view of the game. Even though our army is pretty stacked and we're kind of rolling through armies, we still are going to show losses. We're still going to have sort of authentic battles where you, the viewer, are never really sure whether or not we're going to win, whether or not we're going to lose. And I think that adds value to the channel. Not to mention, it's just sort of realistic, right? You're going to experience losses. So I'm bringing some archers out here. We're going to try to mop up this crew. It seems like they're going to the other ladder here. I'm not quite certain. The AI, it seems like it's a little bugged at the end of this battle. Fortunately, this battle's all but wrapped up. Now it's just nothing left to do here except to rip some arms off. Where the fuck are you guys going? Where are you going, Jagoff? I feel like quoting that end where there are assassinations at the end of the movie Casino. Where are you going, Jagoff? Where he shoots the guy. This fucking guy just going up his ladder by himself. He's getting shot. Just got shot from his ladder. So in this 300 series, I'm going to do my very best to be upfront about how many attempts it took with each episode. This episode, as I've already said, this was our first shot. That's going to happen sometimes. There are going to be some battles where I get obliterated by a couch lance, and I'll reload it. We're not just going to quit. If the battles are incredibly lopsided, we'll probably just show one loss and move on to the next challenge. But the point is that you, the viewer, I want you to have some idea, that it took us 6 attempts to complete. There must be Mike Tyson up there because that enemy troop got obliterated. I'm going to be farting around more and more slow-mo as we go in and watch the funny physics when some guy gets obliterated like that. Looked like he was wearing a fucking rocket pack. I mean, he went flying through the air. That was fucking hilarious. I wonder what causes that. Anyway, so hopefully you're enjoying this channel. Hopefully you're enjoying this 300 series. I'm definitely enjoying it. There are for sure harder challenges to come, right? We've got this band of 300 guys. This battle's all but over now. We're just wrapping it up. And I know a lot of different areas of the map from playing out a campaign for such a long time. And I've been kind of thinking about different maps, different parts of the kingdom that will be tactically interesting. Because, of course, we can't just stand in the open field, put a big ring of shields around us and defeat 2,000 troops. That's just not realistic. For us to have any chance of beating these huge forces, we have to use terrain, we have to use advanced tactics, coordinated attacks, etc. And there's plenty of maps. Fortunately, Bannerlord has plenty of maps to keep battle interesting. We're going to be able to try different scenarios. We're going to try to channel the enemy. Of course, we've already had several episodes exploiting. And I don't mean exploiting like a cheat. I mean exploiting the advantages of terrain, right? So highly successful keep defense here. We've only got 65 guys left, but remember, we only had like 230 or something to start the battle. We had a lot of injuries, so I think under the circumstances, this is a resounding success. Onward we go, this 300 to bigger and greater challenges. Let me know what you guys think. If you have a specific battlefield you want to see, I'm all for it, fellas. And I'll see you guys next time.